What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of NBA and college basketball action here on Thursday, March 5th. I'll give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under on each game. We're going to break down the biggest college basketball games of the night. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So as a big thank you from you guys to me, take that 10th of a second and hit that like button. It really helps get these videos promoted out there on YouTube. It's a big part of keeping me motivated to grind out these videos here every single solitary day. So take a second and just hit that little button. And also, check below and see if you're subscribed to the channel. We can see through YouTube analytics that a lot of our viewers are not subscribed over here on YouTube. So take a second and click that little subscribe button. If you're new, it's absolutely free. It'll help keep you from missing out on these videos that we're uploading here every single day. And guys, YouTube channel growth is kind of a big deal, so definitely help me out with that. Also, get down there in the comments. Let me know any questions you have about today's slate, tomorrow's slate, yesterday's slate, any questions you have across the sports world. I'm more than happy to get back to you and answer all of them. If I don't have an answer, for example, if it's something I know nothing about, like hockey or golf or something like that, I can reach out to the premium handicappers over there at stumpthespread.com, and they'll be able to get your question answered. So that's a really, really nice resource to have there in the back pocket. While you're down there in the comments, make sure you're checking the pinned comment throughout the day. That'll have my favorite picks from this video in it. There will be a link to Stump the Spread in that pinned comment as well. There will be free picks over there of the free email newsletter, and that's where you can also find our premium top confidence picks. But also, that pinned comment is where you'll find our massive lock of the day and our dog of the day. So make sure you're not missing out on any of that. In terms of a recap for what we got cooking on Wednesday. Now, we have taken a couple tough losses right out of the gates here. Butler minus 2.5, an insane second half meltdown from them. Can't go into halftime with a lead and then lose by nearly 20 points. That was wild, wild stuff. We also break down on Providence minus 4.5. Genuinely no idea why the Friars didn't show up for this game. They're by far the better team and had more to play for, but just couldn't get anything going at all. Our other plays are all looking very, very good. The Thunder are playing great. SGA is playing as projected, so that all looks good. The Hawks minus 1.5, that game has not tipped yet. Miami plus 1.5 is looking very, very good. No, that's a final now. Miami straight up winning that game as an underdog there, beating SMU 77-69. So a win there on our dog of the day. A nice one. We'll definitely take that. And Ohio State is looking like it's definitely going to be a win. They had almost doubled up their opponent in that one. So looking like the lock of the day and the dog of the day are both going to come through. And if we can cash both of our NBA plays, could be a third straight 4-in-2 day. So let's go ahead and dive in. We got tons to look at. We'll break down all of the premium stuff there for March 4th. Already cashing a couple plays over there on James Madison and Detroit Mercy. So that's all looking good. Let's go ahead and dive in. Everybody, make sure you've hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you've gotten over there to stumpthespread.com. Check out the free stuff. Check out that free email newsletter. And definitely check out a premium package, guys, if that's something that appeals to you. Now let's get after it. First up, guys, we're looking at the Tulane Green Wave going on the road to take on the Temple Owls. Tulane comes into this game 17-12 on the season, 8-8 in conference play out there in the American. They're heading to Temple for this one. Maybe not the toughest opponent necessarily. They did already beat Temple 77-66 earlier this season, so we'll see what Tulane can do. They've also really struggled, dropping each of their last two games, but losing to Tulsa and losing at South Florida are pretty much par for the course kind of losses there for the Green Wave. They're not really quite on that level this season. Now, this team does have a solid leading scorer there in Rowan Burnball. He's been very, very good. 18 points, 44% from the field, and around 4 assists per game, but none of that has kept them above average in conference play. I mean, they're 8-8 overall in the American this year. Not necessarily a dominant level team, offensively around 310th in the nation total scoring, and their rebounding numbers are a very, very big concern. This team is really not good on the glass, and some of that can be blamed just on their pace of play, but some of that, they're just not very good rebounding the ball. Now, they're going on the road to take on Temple. They haven't had a great season either. They're 7-9 in conference play. They're 15-14 overall. They are actually riding a 6-game losing streak that was started by that loss at Tulane. They're not a very good rebounding team either. Their offense is not great, not terrible, but definitely not great. Darian Ford is a very legitimate leading scorer, 18 points per game, 42% from the field is not terrible, but the squad is not great defensively. Like I already said, their rebounding numbers are not very good, so we'll see what they can do this time around against Tulane. The last time these two teams faced each other, we saw Tulane get an 11-point win. Temple only shot 24% from three. We did see Tulane shoot 40 free throws in this game. They also had a little edge on the boards, but the real story in that one was Tulane shooting such an insane amount of free throws. Now, looking at the numbers, guys, Temple's in a revenge spot. They're 4.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 144.5. Tulane is 6-3 against the spread on the road, 16-11-1 to the under. Temple is 6-8 against the spread at home, 15-13 to the over. Maybe the odds makers are trying to tell us which way to go in this one. They think Temple's in a good revenge spot, but for me, Temple has just been too ice cold. I mean, they've lost 6 straight games. I think we see Tulane find a way to make this at least a one-possession game down the stretch, if not just win this one outright. Next up, guys, we've got the biggest college basketball game of the night. We've got the number 3 Michigan Wolverines going to Iowa to take on the Hawkeyes. Now, Michigan, they're number 3 in the nation. They're 27-2 overall. They've destroyed their opposition there in the Big Ten, going 17-1 so far in conference play. So they've got everything nice and locked up, even with a couple games still here to go. They go to Iowa, and then they host Michigan State. So a couple pretty exciting games. The Wolverines are 10th in the nation total offense, 27th in the nation total rebounding. They're a very, very good defensive team as well. So yeah, they're going to be an extremely tough out for anyone come tournament time. They're definitely a team that I'll have winning in some brackets. Like, this is certainly an elite level squad. They've got a ton of different guys who can beat you on a night-to-night basis, and just all their numbers stack up really, really well against really any opponent. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa should technically be the more motivated team in this one. They are not terrible, 20-9 on the season, 10-8 in conference play. They're coming off a really bad loss, and maybe they fell victim to the whole look-ahead spot thing. I mean, they went into Penn State and lost that game 71-69. That's not a good loss. You can't be losing games to teams like that. I mean, obviously, we have seen Iowa put up some good wins. They took down Nebraska, for example. That was a very, very nice win. They did fail both times there against Purdue. They've taken down UCLA this year, though. Played a, well, I guess that actually wasn't a great game there at Michigan State. So we'll see what they can come up with. Like I said, they are playing at home, so that should help. Bennett Steers is a monster leading scorer, putting up 20 per game and 4 assists and shooting 51% from the field. But a huge concern I have here for Iowa is their rebounding. They are atrocious on the boards, 511th in raw rebounding, guys. That is not great. Now, their defense looks awesome, giving up only 65 points per game, but when you look at what they've done against elite teams, obviously they did a good job defensively against Nebraska. You gave up 78 points to Purdue. You gave up 79 points to Purdue the game of, their other matchup against Purdue this season, and they gave up 75 in a loss to Illinois. So will they be able to hold Michigan in check in this one? Seems like a big ask. Iowa, they're getting 8.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 145.5. Michigan is 4-6 against the spread on the road, 18-11 to the under. Iowa, they're 10-7 against the spread at home, 16-13 to the over. I really, really wish that I could justify taking the Iowa Hawkeyes in this spot, but I can't do it, guys. Give me Michigan to get the double-digit win. I think they cover this relatively small number pretty comfortably, even if they're not in desperation mode. Just the depth of this team, their ability to crush Iowa on the glass, I think is going to result in Michigan having a pretty easy win in this one, despite the fact they're playing on the road. Next up, guys, staying out there in the Big Ten, we've got the Rutgers Scarlet Knights going on the road to take on the number 8 Michigan State Spartans. Now, Rutgers, they're 12-17 on the season, 5-13 in conference play. It has not been a very fun season for the Scarlet Knights. They have done some positive stuff down the stretch. They've won 3 out of their last 5 games. Tariq Francis has put up good numbers this season for sure. This is not a horrifyingly bad defensive team, or at least not given what we've seen recently, although they did really struggle there at Michigan. But they've put up some good efforts even against some good teams. They lost by only 12 against Nebraska. They lost by 9 the last time they faced Michigan State. We'll definitely be doing a deeper dive on that one. Played a close game there at Wisconsin. Played a very close game at Iowa. You can kind of see this Rutgers team, while they've lost a lot of games, they certainly have not been terrible, terrible losses. And that loss that they took against Michigan State ended up being an overtime game. So we'll see if they can make it a close one here against the Spartans, who are number 8 in the nation. They're second in the Big Ten with a 14-4 conference record. They're coming off a 4th straight win. They took down UCLA, Ohio State, won at Purdue there by 2 points, and then took care of business at Indiana, 77-64. Now, this could be a bit of a look-ahead spot for the Spartans. They do have Michigan on deck, a trip to Michigan, an in-state rival, a huge, huge top 10 matchup there. Maybe they could be, falling victim to a look-ahead spot. It's not impossible. The Spartans are a very good rebounding team. Their defense is elite. Jeremy Fears is a monster. He's been very good all season long. But the last time these two teams faced each other, we saw, we did see Michigan State dominate there on the glass, but Rutgers stayed right there with them. There was no major free throw discrepancy. Neither team shot an unsustainable rate, at the free throw line or anything like that. Rutgers only turned the ball over 5 times, and Michigan State turned it over 15. Do I think that Rutgers has what it takes to win this game straight up? No, guys, I do not. But looking at the numbers, the Spartans, even though they're at home, are 19, or I guess mostly because they're at home, are 19.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 141.5. Rutgers, they're 5-5 against the spread on the road, 17-12 to the over. Michigan State, they're 7-8-1 against the spread at home, 17-12 to the under. Guys, I will take the Rutgers Scarlet Knights here, getting nearly 20 points. You might want to wait until closer to game time to lock this one in. You might be able to get a better number out there. That'll be, obviously a wait and see situation, see which way this number is moving. But I definitely think Rutgers getting all these points is the side you want. Next up, we're headed out to the American. We've got the South Florida Bulls going on the road to take on the Memphis Tigers. Now, South Florida guys, they've had a really good stretch here recently, winning their last 7 games in a row. Their last one was a blowout 90-62 win there over Tulane. Their last time on the road was a blowout win over Rice. They also destroyed Memphis 87-66. Only a few, I guess just over a week ago, 3 games ago, winning that one 87-66. So a blowout win there. The Bulls have been amazing on the boards this season, 9th in the nation, raw rebounding numbers. They're in the top 12 in the nation, total scoring. Isaiah Nelson's a monster, 16 points per game, 57% from the field. CJ Brown, 5 assists and 12 points per game. Like, this is a very, very good team. There's a reason they're on top of the American Conference standings right now. So we'll see what they can do here, taking on a Memphis team they did face here very, very recently. The Tigers come into this one. I mean, they've had a terrible season. You, I'm sure, are all familiar with the fact that Memphis is 12-17 on the season, 7-9 in conference play. They've lost their last 6 games in a row, losing at North Texas, at Utah State, at South Florida, and then losing back-to-back home games, falling to UAB and Wichita State. And then they went into East Carolina, guys, and lost 84-68. It's been a brutal season. This team does not really have any great leading scorers, not that much talent on the roster, for being honest. They're 260-something in the nation total scoring. Their rebounding numbers are not very good, and their defensive numbers are also very, very subpar. The last time these two teams faced each other, South Florida won by 21 points. They only shot 30% from 3, but they dominated the boards. They did do a good job of getting to the free throw line as well, but pretty even turnover numbers, and really Memphis just looked outclassed. Now, they are home for this game. Maybe that'll help. They're getting 6.5 points. We've got a total of 159.5. South Florida is 7-4 against the spread on the road, 15-13 to the under. Memphis is 9-6 against the spread at home, 15-14 to the under themselves. I could see an underplay in this being relatively reasonable. I don't have any problems with anybody that wanted to take the under, but in terms of a side, despite Memphis being a decent against the spread team at home, USF's a good against the spread team on the road, and I would much rather back the South Florida Bulls in this spot. Now, guys, before we hop over and cover that entire NBA slate here on a pretty busy NBA Thursday, we got to shout out the sponsor today in every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. You can click the link in the description or the link in the pinned comment to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. And keep in mind, guys, those premium picks are very rarely going to match what you see from me here in the videos, as we have a team of experienced cappers over there covering all the major sports. Right now, the premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, and college basketball picks. UFC is in the mix there every time there's a UFC card, and Major League Baseball is right around the corner, guys. We are offering a pretty insane full season MLB discount there for full season MLB packages. So definitely, if you're looking to get in the mix over there for baseball season, you want to hop on the bandwagon and check out one of those, because baseball season went incredibly well last year. So definitely want to be hopping in on that. NHL has been going amazing here recently over a huge sample size, so definitely want to get in the mix there on the NHL side of things. And yesterday also was a very, very solid premium day, so certainly get in the mix over there at StumpTheSpread.com as a premium member. But you gotta get in on all the free stuff. It's absolutely free, guys. Just go to StumpTheSpread.com. You don't even have to sign up for an account. Just click on that free picks tab, and there'll be a free pick there for you every single solitary day. And those free picks have been on a really, really nice run, so you certainly don't want to miss out on those. You also got to sign up for that free account so you can get on that free email newsletter. It's really easy to sign up. They just ask for your name and your email address. That's it. You'll get one email straight to your inbox every single day, and it'll have regular free picks in it too, guys. Just like, regular against the spread, over, under, over/under, money line picks. It could be on NHL, NBA, college basketball, anything that's going, any of the major sports. But you'll also get huge write-ups every single week on PGA Tour golf events, on NASCAR events. Those have been very, very valuable for everybody that's been on the email list throughout the season. Anytime there's a big tennis event, those are covered. Also, UFC write-ups go in those emails very, very often. It is just a fantastic treasure trove of information. It's going to be jam-packed with baseball info here in just a couple of weeks. So definitely make sure you're getting in on that free email newsletter. It is a fantastic resource. Also, get over there to stumpthespread.com if you're looking to pick up a Stump the Spread hoodie. We're selling them at $39.99 right now. That includes free shipping, and that is at cost for us. We make nothing on those hoodies, guys. We just want to get them out there to anybody who wants one and really, really enjoy, just being able to offer those. It took us a long, long time to get that cracking. Well, now it is going, and we've sold quite a few of them, so that's been really, really nice. Big shout out to everybody that's picked up a hoodie. Also, big shout out to all of our YouTube channel members. If you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from me here every single day, you can click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get their name on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, they get access to our members-only giveaways, and we do 2 of those giveaways now, guys, every single solitary week. Pretty cool. We were doing 1 for a long, long time. Finally got up to that 120, 125 YouTube channel member mark, and now we're doing 2 giveaways here every single solitary week, and we do them on Mondays and on Thursdays, so you're about to see exactly how these work. We're going to put the name of every single YouTube channel member here on this big wheel. We're going to spin this wheel right now live on the video. Whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie of their size, mailed straight to their address of choice. Love doing these giveaways, guys. Looks like this week's winner is going to be David Geary. David Geary, get down there in the comments. Let us know that you see that you've won the giveaway. We'll give you instructions on how to go about claiming your hoodie, but you could have that hoodie to your address in as little as 3 to 7 days. We actually had somebody get one in 3 days very recently. That was nuts. So really love doing these giveaways. Huge shout out to all the YouTube channel members, guys. Really, really appreciate every single one of you. Now, let's dive back into the video. Everybody, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and definitely get over there to stumpthespread.com. Check out all the great free resources, the free picks tab, the free email newsletter, and if you're interested in Major League Baseball or just interested in the best premium picks in the business, consider signing up for a premium membership right now. It is a great time of the year to dive in. First up, guys, on a very busy NBA slate, we got the Dallas Mavericks going on the road to take on the Orlando Magic. Now, Dallas, they've lost 3 in a row. They're definitely tanking things out. Losing to the Grizzlies is pretty impressive. They also lost to the Thunder and the Hornets. Now they got to head to Orlando to take on the Magic. We have not seen Dallas really putting the full roster out there for quite some time, and that's not going to change in this one. Cooper Flagg still going to be sidelined. Najee Marshall, Brandon Williams, Klay Thompson, all on the injury report, and Marvin Bagley already confirmed out. Now, Najee Marshall sounds like he will play, dealing with some sort of finger contusion. He's probable. Brandon Williams, dealing with a quadriceps injury, is also probable. Klay sounds like he will play in this one. He is listed as probable as well. The Magic, on the other hand, are not tanking, or at least not on purpose. They have lost 2 of their last 3, but losing to the Rockets and Pistons does make sense for an Orlando team that has not found nearly the level of success we would have expected them to find this year. They're coming off a 125-109 win there over the Wizards, so congratulations on that. You don't get a parade from me for beating a team that's losing on purpose. Jalen Suggs coming back is definitely very, very helpful. We do see Anthony Black and Wendell Carter Jr. both on the injury report, though, and that is a little bit concerning. Anthony Black, dealing with a quadriceps issue, is questionable for this game, so maybe there's a chance they could hold him out. He is still day-to-day. He has missed the last 2 games, so we'll see what happens. He's very, very important to everything they've got going on. Wendell Carter Jr. is questionable as well, dealing with a sore left ankle. He played there against Detroit. We'll see if he can come back for this one. Played 33 relatively ineffective minutes in that game. So we will see what happens with the injury report here. The Magic are still, despite those injury concerns, 8.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 229.5. Dallas is 10-17 against the spread on the road, 18-21 against spread after a loss, 16-11 to the under on the road. Orlando is 13-16 against spread at home, 11-20 against spread after a win, 15-14 to the over at home. Without a ton of clarity here on the injury report, I can't say for sure if we're going to get super involved in this game, but I do like Orlando at -8.5 a little bit. Dallas is tanking, although it does sound like they're bringing back a lot of their guys for this game. So this one might be a spot we generally avoid, but I do think if you're begging me for a side, I definitely got to go with Orlando. I don't want to back the tanking Dallas Mavericks. Next on the docket, we got the Utah Jazz going on the road to take on the Washington Wizards. Now this one is a tankathon. Utah is in danger of winning their current game. They're up 94-92 in Philadelphia with 6.5 minutes left in the fourth. So we'll see which side they come out on in that game. Seems like Utah has maybe just built too good of a team to tank as hard as they want. Keontae George has played a great game. Ace Bailey's put in some solid minutes. 16 off the bench from Isaiah Collier, who never gets talked about enough for everything that he's done for that team. So we'll see what Utah can do. We'll see what kind of injury report we're looking at. Obviously, we don't expect Markkanen to play, and not in this game, and probably not again this season if we're being totally honest. So we'll see who they've got ready to go as they head to Washington to take on the aggressively tanking Wizards, who are 16-45 on the season. They're coming off a 126-109 loss there in Orlando, so not exactly a super fun time there for Washington. It sounds like they might be, bringing Trae Young back at some point, but not a lot of great stuff going on there for Washington. They certainly won't want Trae to come back and start winning them some games. Now, he will be making his team debut in this one. I believe this is his first game. His first game out there. So we'll see. He did get tossed from that game. That was pretty funny, but we'll see. I'm not going to let him play a ton of minutes. I would expect 20 to 25 minutes or something like that from Trae. Probably not enough to make a huge difference in this one, although we'll have to wait and see. The Wizards are only 1.5 point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 241. Utah is 15-14 against spread on the road, 6-6 against spread on no rest, 20-22 against the spread after a loss. So, we'll see if they actually lose this game. 15-14 to the under on the road. Washington is 16-16 against spread at home, 21-23 against spread after a loss, 18-14 to the over at home. This is a pretty weird spot. I'm going to lean slightly towards the Wizards just because I think the Jazz are going to try so hard to make sure they lose if they somehow mess around and win this game against the 76ers, but I don't want to get super involved when we got two tanking teams. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Brooklyn Nets going on the road to take on the Miami Heat. Now, Brooklyn, they're 15-46 on the season. They have lost their last 9 in a row as they tank things out. They just lost by 26 points at Miami in game 1 of this little 2-game set there, in Miami. In that game, we saw Brooklyn not be able to throw it in the ocean from long range. They got out rebounded by a little bit. They had a lot more turnovers, and they just didn't do too much positive out there. Michael Porter Jr. had a bad night, 0 of 9 for 3 from him. He was a -18, and just not a lot of positives. And there are not a lot of positives lurking on this Brooklyn Nets roster right now. Their injury report coming into this one looks pretty standard. Not a lot of huge concerns for them. They are obviously staying in Miami, so they've had a few days to hang out on the beach. We'll see what the Heat can do in this one. They're only 4 games above 500. It hasn't been a great year in that game against the Brooklyn Nets. They did plenty to get the job done. Obviously, a nice game there from Bam, putting up 23, but it took him 24 shots to get those 23 points. Tyler Hero was much more efficient, getting to 22 on 15 shots. 20 points off the bench for Jaime Jaquez Jr., who honestly had the best game out of any Miami Heat player, if you ask my opinion. 36% from 3, a nice little edge there on the boards. Definitely some positives there for the Heat, who come into this game almost fully healthy. Norman Powell still dealing with, what was it? Was it a back issue? Yeah, week to week. No, with a groin strain. Yeah. With a groin strain. So we'll see what he can put together, see if he can be healthy relatively soon. The Heat would like to have him back sooner rather than later, but we'll see what happens. Other than him, they're relatively healthy and ready to go. They're 13.5 point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 225.5. The Nets are 12-18 against the spread on the road, 21-23 against the spread after a loss, 19-12 to the under on the road. Miami is 17-13 against spread at home, 14-18 against spread after win, and they're a 500 over-under team at home. This is a little bit of an interesting one, guys. My immediate instinct is to just auto-fade the Nets here since they're tanking it out, but the Heat might not be super locked in for this game. They are playing on the front half of a back-to-back. They do play this game against the Nets. Then they got to go to Charlotte and face the Hornets. I am going to lean towards the Heat in this one at -13.5, but I don't have nearly the level of conviction that I would have if they weren't on the front half of a back-to-back. Rolling right along, we're looking at the Golden State Warriors heading to Houston to take on the Rockets. Now, Golden State has been suspiciously decent, 31-30 on the season, and have managed to win a couple of games and play some weird close ones even with Steph Curry sideline. Now, I say that they played a close game for a chunk of it there against the Clippers, but eventually end up losing by 13 their last time out. Podziemski led the team with 20 points. They didn't have any answers there for Kawhi. Very few answers for Chris Dunn, and gave up 4 double-digit scores there coming off the bench. The Warriors in general, they got 4 points, 4 big points there from Draymond Green, who was a minus 18. Al Horford actually had a decent night. Like I said, Podziemski led the team in scoring. Nate Williams coming off the bench for 18, but none of that was enough. This squad has really had a rough time. Acquiring Porzingis, a guy that can't even play, can't stay healthy, was a pretty wild decision, and obviously missing Steph for without really a timetable for his return is a problem. Moses Moody will be out for this game, dealing with a wrist issue, will not play. Gary Payton on the injury report, Will Richard and Porzingis, of course, on there. So we'll see the Warriors even run out there against the Houston Rockets, who come into this game 38-22 on the season. They're fresh off a 123-118 win over the Wizards that was weirdly competitive. Sengun led the way with 32 points. Durant had 30 points on 15 shots. Insane efficiency there. 22 from Amen Thompson, but this bench, nobody on the bench can do anything now that Reed Shepherd's in the starting lineup. So I don't have a whole lot of amazing things to say about the Rockets. They did end up crushing the Wizards on the glass, and this game was mostly close because Washington shot the lights out from 3. We'll see what the Rockets can do in this specific matchup. Their injury report coming into this one is very troubling. Amen Thompson and Sengun are both on there. Jabari Smith Jr. still out. Amen Thompson questionable due to an ankle issue, and Sengun is questionable due to an illness. So if either one of those guys miss this game, that is definitely a very big deal. So we'll see what happens here. The Rockets are 8.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 214.5. The Warriors are 12-17 against spread on the road, 15-14 against spread after a loss, 16-13 to the over on the road. Houston is 10-17 against spread at home. That's an NBA worst mark against spread playing at home. 15-22 against spread after win. They are 17-9-1 to the under at home. Given the weird injury situation, I actually don't think under 214.5 is an insane idea. So take that for what you will. If you're begging me for a side, I will lean slightly towards the Rockets here at -8.5, but they are also playing on the front half of a back-to-back, and I think that's a big part of why they might rest some guys, so this one's mostly going to be a stay-away spot for me. Next up, we're looking at the Toronto Raptors going on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Raptors come into this game 35-26 on the season. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. They missed out on what looked like a pretty good spot for them taking on the Knicks, but eventually lose that game 111-95 with the Knicks playing on the front half of a back-to-back. Toronto just clearly not ready to run with the big dogs. Do the Timberwolves count as one of the big dogs? Recently, it seems like yes. Toronto comes into this game relatively healthy. Brandon Ingram, though, on the injury report is definitely a concern. He's questionable for this game due to a left thumb sprain. So at least it's his left thumb, not his right, but it is still, far from an ideal situation. The Timberwolves, they come to this game playing very well. They've won their last 4 in a row, including a nice win mixed in there over the Nuggets. They'll definitely take that. A 7-point win over the Grizzlies their last time out. Looked a little sketchy. Took a 40-piece there from Anthony Edwards to get the win over a tanking team. It's not a great look. Julius Randle played well. Jade McDaniels played well, but this team doesn't have a great bench, even with Ayo Dosunmu popping off for 14 points there off the pine. So we'll see if they can get back on track in this one, see if they can, kind of stay healthy here towards the end of the season. Naz Reid ready to go, Dosunmu ready to go. The whole starting lineup is intact. So the Timberwolves are fully healthy in this one. They are playing at home. They are 6.5-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 228.5. Toronto is 17-12 against spread on the road, 11-14 against spread after a loss, 18-11 to the under on the road. Minnesota is 13-19 against spread at home, 15-23 against spread after a win, 21-11 to the under at home. I really wanted to be on the Timberwolves at -6.5 in this game at first glance. It looked really good, and maybe if we had confirmation Brandon Ingram was going to sit out, I would have to strongly consider it. But better than that, guys, just give me the under. Give me under 228.5 in this one. Minnesota not going to play a crazy high-scoring game here, especially against a long, athletic team like the Toronto Raptors. We don't have to worry about too much scoring coming from the Minnesota bench. I think we see a very low-scoring game in this one, with the Timberwolves winning. Will they win by 7 or more? That feels up in the air to me, so just give me that under. Next on the docket, guys, in a game I absolutely cannot believe is not being flexed into a primetime spot here. I can't believe the Warriors and Rockets are the Amazon Prime game instead of this Pistons Spurs game. Detroit, they are 45-15 on the season. This is a rematch of a game that happened very, very recently with the Spurs getting the 114-103 win. Detroit has floundered a little bit. They lost at the Cavaliers after winning barely against the very, very short-handed Cavaliers, and they lose in game 2 there against Cleveland despite Donovan Mitchell not playing. In that one, we didn't hate a lot of what we saw. Jalen Duren had another very good game. Cade, a pretty bad shooting night. 4 of 16 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. He was getting legitimate MVP hype, and that has faded rapidly with him really, really hitting a shooting slump here recently. We'll see if he can snap out of it, but the Spurs are a really, really tough team to snap out of a shooting slump against, I'll tell you that. The Pistons are fully healthy coming into this game, so that's definitely a big plus, but they're taking on the San Antonio Spurs, which is a pretty massive minus. San Antonio came through for us huge there at Philly their last time out. We jumped in on that one early with the Spurs only minus 7.5, and we were glad we made that a pretty big play because they come up with the easy 40-point win and cover. San Antonio has been playing great. They come into this game basically fully healthy. I actually think Harrison Barnes being out is not a big deal at all. He's dealing with an ankle issue and he won't play in this game. That does not worry me in the least. If that means more Dylan Harper, more Keldon Johnson, more Carter Bryant minutes, I'm all for it. Everybody's healthy and ready to go there for the Spurs. Wemby is just the most insane defensive force you could ever wish to see, and things are looking like they're very much on the right track here for the Spurs. They're 3-point favorites in this game. The Pistons are 16-13 against spread on the road, 9-5 against spread after a loss, 16-12-1 to the under on the road. The Spurs are 15-11-1 against spread at home, 22-19-2 against spread after win, 16-11 to the under at home. So maybe we should be considering the under in this game potentially. There was only 217 total points scored the last time these two teams faced each other, and we didn't see anything too out of the realm. I guess Detroit only shot 19% from 3, but that's not that crazy to see the Pistons have a bad 3-point shooting night. So consider the under in this game, but better than that, I'm slamming it here on the San Antonio Spurs at -3. This will definitely make the pinned comment. I think this is a very, very reasonable play. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Bulls going on the road to take on the Phoenix Suns. The Bulls come into this game 25-37 on the season. They've been struggling aggressively lately, except for that crazy Josh Giddey outburst that they had against the Bucks. I guess they did keep their last game within 8 against the Thunder, so well played there, but it was the skeleton crew for the Thunder. Chicago, Giddey, Buzelis, Jalen Smith, all on the injury report. Obviously, if Giddey sits out, that's a huge problem for this team. He's questionable dealing with an ankle issue. Buzelis is questionable with an ankle issue of his own. Jaden Ivey and Patrick Williams will also be out, and so will Jalen Smith. So definitely not the full strength Chicago Bulls, but it's also not the full strength Suns. Despite that, they've managed to win a couple games in a row, trying to keep their heads above water until we see them get fully healthy, and that's still going to be a minute. Mark Williams on the injury report along with Jordan Goodwin, but it's got to feel nice to have Devin Booker back at least, and Grayson Allen out there going as well. Mark Williams will not play in this game due to left foot soreness, and Jordan Goodwin will miss this one due to a calf injury, so he is going to be inactive for this game, and obviously no Dylan Brooks until he comes back from that broken hand. So, looking at the numbers, guys, the Bulls are 10.5 point underdogs here on the road. We've got a total of 225.5. Chicago 11-17 against the spread on the road, 13-23 against spread after a loss, 16-12 to the over on the road. The Suns are 19-13 against spread at home, 20-14 against spread after a win, 22-10 to the under at home. This spread indicates to me that the odds makers don't think we're going to see Josh Giddey play in this game, and if we don't see him, I do think the Suns probably win this one in a bit of a landslide, but that is an awful lot of points to ask a team like Phoenix to cover right now, so we'll see. It does have a chance to make the pinned comment just because I think the Bulls are so bad on the road and so bad coming off a loss, but might have to wait around in this one and see a little. Next up, we're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers going on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. This is a game that is on Prime Video and definitely deserves it. The Lakers, 37-24 on the season, have won 3 in a row, but when those wins come against the Warriors, Kings, and Pelicans, and when, that Pelicans game was really, really competitive, it's not exactly a great look. This squad, has been talked about to exhaustion this season. Do Luka, Austin Reeves, and LeBron make any sense altogether? No, they don't. But I do think we'll see LeBron depart in the offseason, and we'll see what that all means, and maybe they can get a real center in there, not DeAndre Ayton, who continues to seem completely clueless. This squad does not have much depth. They don't have a backup center. There's just not a lot of positives out there for the Lakers right now, although they have won a couple games, so we'll see what they can do on the road against the Nuggets, who are coming off a weirdly close win there over the Utah Jazz. At 38-24, Denver's just trying to make their way through the season without dealing with, just more and more injuries. They've had so many injuries this year, and they're banged up coming into this game. Aaron Gordon sounds like he's going to be back potentially on Friday. Cameron Johnson, dealing with an ankle issue, is questionable, and Spencer Jones is out. I still think, they're in relatively good shape. Jamal Murray and Jokic are ready to go. And that is really the, heart of this team. The Nuggets are 4.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 238.5. The Lakers are 17-14 against spread on the road, 17-19 against spread after a win, 17-14 to the under on the road. Denver, 13-15 against spread at home, 20-17 against spread after a win, 15-13 to the over at home. I would honestly lean more towards the under than the over. It's such a big number, but much better than that, guys. I love the Nuggets at -4.5. I think Denver's in excellent shape playing at home in this game. I don't think the Lakers are going to have a very good time playing at altitude. The Nuggets don't have a lot of great options to stop guys like Reeves or Luka, but the Lakers have 0 options to stop Jamal Murray and -1 million options to stop Jokic. So unless it's some sort of terrible shooting night there from the Nuggets, I expect them to come up with an easy win and cover. Last but not least, guys, we got the New Orleans Pelicans heading to Sacramento to take on the Kings. The Pelicans are only 19-44 on the season. They're coming off a tough 9-point loss there at the Lakers. Zion played pretty well, 10 of 18 from the field. Trey Murphy III is back and doing what he can out there. Sadiq Bey, Dejounte Murray, this squad is trying to put together some wins. They just don't feel like they have enough. They are banged up coming into this game as well. Dejounte Murray, Trey Murphy, and Zion all on the injury report. Dejounte Murray, dealing with, trying to get back into shape, is going to sit this game out against the Kings. That doesn't really make sense to me. Trey Murphy is questionable due to neck spasms, and Zion is dealing with an ankle issue. He's questionable as well. So we'll see who they even have to put on the floor against the Kings, who at 14-49 on the season have been really, really pathetic. They are, generally healthy given who they have left to put on the floor, but this squad has been awful. They just lost by 11 against the very banged up Suns, lost by 24 against the Lakers. This team is just straight up not good, and that's why they're getting 4.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 231.5. New Orleans is 15-16 against spread on the road, 22-21 against spread after a loss, 17-14 to the under on the road. The Kings are 12-18 against spread at home, 18-30 against the spread after a loss, 16-14 to the under at home. With so many injuries for the Pelicans right now, I am going to lean just slightly towards the Kings. We don't have a ton of injury confirmation on this one, so it'll have to be a wait-and-see spot. And really, guys, I can't see myself getting too involved on this matchup. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today on a very busy Thursday. Do me a huge favor, hit that like button. It only takes 1/10 of a second and really does a lot to keep these videos getting pumped out every single day and get them promoted out there. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, we've hit a little bit of a lull. On our way to 100,000 subscribers, guys. We got to make it to 70,000 first, so let's make that happen. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're getting down there in the comments, ask me anything you want, and click on the link in the description to get over there to stumpthespread.com. Check out all the great free resources over there every single day. Tons of great information in that email newsletter, as well as in the free picks tab. And definitely check out those premium picks. They've been on a very, very good run. NHL has been going nuts. We're coming off a good college basketball day. A lot to like there in the premium section. So definitely don't miss out on that. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.